Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast. Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Stephen Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Filmed live on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steven Larson. And of course, found wherever podcasts can be found in the audio realm. Leave us a rating, a review, or subscription. If you're listening to my voice right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, man, hit that like button. Let's try to get this episode up to 300 likes. I'll be honest with you, it's not gonna perform well because AEW was boring tonight.
Yeah, it was a little slow.
Look, man, they're doing what they can, and I give them leeway. But tonight was like basically AEW's version of Thunder. They tried what they could do. They tried to do something with the Dustin story, putting his career on the line. We all knew that was going to go.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand why they put that in the main event, dude. But Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin probably should have been there. I don't know. What was your take on tonight?
No, totally. It was, I don't know. Like the highlight of the whole show was Chris Jericho on commentary.
Yeah, it was. Totally. And he's great. He is great. That and Trent and Chuck's interview.
That was
great too.
That was good.
If only because it also let me tell my Lacey, because she was watching with me. It let me tell her about the story of our encounter with Trent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Chuck, for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then, like, the Sammy Darby match was good. But, like, there's no reason that Kenny Omega should have been having a 8-minute match with enhancement talent. I understand you got to fill time.
If you have Kenny Omega in the building and you have your whiteboard out and that's what you've got going on tonight, maybe give him something meatier to do,
or don't have him on the show.
Oh, you don't want to do that. They already it was severely lacking in star
I know
power
the issue is at this point is it's getting almost formulaic, where they have AEW roster member versus student from QT Marshall School,
which is, again, you got to give them some leeway, right? Because they had to bulk film all this stuff.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just they're operating on what 30% of the roster right now is available for these shows. It's just we're 3 or 4 weeks into it, and it's just really showing that they're just rotating the same handful of people. Like they're going down the line. Oh, who'd you fight this last week? All right, this person's fighting that person. They just on down the line,
Yeah,
next week Kenny will fight Lee Marshall or Lee Johnson, and then Justin Law, and then Brody Lee will fight Lee Johnson, and then Jimmy Havoc will fight Alan Angels.
But where in the rotation did they film the Justin Law match coming up? Because clearly this week was filmed prior to last week's Justin Law match, because that dude showed up hurting from the Brody Lee match he had this week, last week.
Yeah, he had hamburger chest from Brody Lee this week.
Last week, and he got it this week. Exactly.
He got it this week. So, not a whole lot going on. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting that and granted, I know this is, up until recently, up until like the first or second week of these tapings, your point of, well, I'm not really sure AEW is doing a whole lot different with their tapings or with their story schedules. Obviously, they have to at this point.
Yeah, they have to at this point.
It is kind of interesting, though, that, and, we bring this up, every episode, basically, we talk about the other Wednesday night show a little bit. Mm-hmm. I wonder if, creatively speaking, they're going to be on opposite cycles. Because like NXT right now, I have avoided spoilers because I saw people talking about NXT tonight, and it sounds like it's a good episode.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying not to spoil it for myself. Please, nobody in the chat spoil it for me. I'd appreciate that. I'm going to stay off Twitter tonight if I can. But it's funny because NXT is, I know, shocking, right? NXT is sort of like reloading creatively and roster wise. While, and I know, again, it's out of necessity. Things would probably be a lot different with AEW without the pandemic. We'd have already had Blood and Guts. We'd be gearing up big time for Double or Nothing.
It would have been, really different. Yeah.
It'd have been a lot different. But at this point, it seems like NXT is on the rise and AEW is sort of struggling through. But I mean, do we know what the taping situation is going forward? I mean, I thought that this batch was going to last another couple of weeks, right?
I thought it was going to last all the way to Double or Nothing, which is another month.
Jeez.
That's what I thought.
All right. Well, I mean, look, things will get interesting. So the thumbnail, because there's really nothing else going on, Dustin Runnels put up his career against Kip Sabian, which I suppose, given the win-loss records, if you're going to put it up against anybody, it's going to be him and Marco Stunt. And so he ended up winning, of course.
Yeah.
And he's going to be taking... This is good. He's going to be taking on Lance Archer in the semifinals.
Lance Archer's going to destroy him.
And I wonder if Cody's going to come to ringside to watch it happen.
Yeah.
I think that would make for a good setup, because I think that's how it's going to go down. They're making this thing, especially, all the stuff about Cody in his cheesy green screen promo at the start of the show.
We found this week that Cody is a SmackDown hacker.
Yeah, he was. He totally is. Confirmed. So, yeah, we'll just hop into it. We open the show with Cody, and he is in
SmackDown hacker computer station, Mission Control.
I didn't realize they could green screen something worse than the SmackDown hacker, but Cody's Batcave seems to be
much.
that.
Yeah, he was in Batcave, Fortress of Solitude type situation.
Yeah.
Maybe
so he's talking
holodeck.
about...
He's a huge Star Trek guy, right?
It's his holodeck. There you go. That's perfect.
So there's this huge, long video package that he's kind of narrating, hyping up this TNT tournament. It's like, how special is a title where the network itself comes to the promotion and says, hey, we want this title. It's a huge deal, says Cody. Take him at his word. And so he talks about each of the competitors, such as says who has the will to get through this whole tournament and to win. Next, Jericho, Schiavone introduce the show. Some of the matches are going to be on the show. And then we get a Sammy Guevara video package. He's narrating that with a promo. Then we get match Sammy versus Darby Allin. Sammy comes out first. Darby has a promo on the Tron where he says he and Sammy, they're not too different. The only difference is Darby, stand on my own 2 feet. He's going to crush Sammy's dream when he wins the title, and he's going to feel live. And so Darby's walking down to the ring. Sammy hits him with the corkscrew tope, tosses him around the ringside area a bunch, gets a ladder out, bridges it between the apron and the barricade, puts Darby on it, and then hits a splash off the top rope. Ladder barely budges.
Yeah.
That probably hurt.
That looked like it hurt.
That probably hurt.
Yeah,
that probably hurt. And then we come back, go to commercial, come back. Trainers are checking on Darby. Sammy just goes over there, tosses him in the ring. Ref calls for the bell. Bell rings. The match actually starts. This is 15 minutes into the show.
It's a ways into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you. So you're the guy who remembers shit around here. Sammy versus Darby Allin.
Yeah.
What's the win-loss record? It's Darby 3-0, right?
No, I think Sammy's won one.
Has Sammy won one? Can somebody in chat verify that or not? Because I kind of feel like every time Darby gets the win, the tag match, the Cody and Darby versus Sammy and Jericho, I think they lost that one. Yeah. But in singles and singles head-to-head, hasn't Darby taken them all?
I don't recall. Let's see if there's an easy way for me to find out.
Because I was really hoping, dude. I thought if you're gonna do anything, and I know I think they're gonna do a good job booking how this is gonna go down and everything. But Sammy beats the crap out of Darby for 15 minutes, and Darby still picks up the win here? Mm-hmm. Like freaking Roman Reigns, man.
Well, I mean, Sean Spears tagged with Sammy, and Sean Spears rolled up Darby to get a win. So I know it's not a head-to-head win, but it's a win.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the tag match. I guess I was thinking of then. Yeah, because they were all in the tournament together. But before that, I think head-to-head, it's 2-0 Darby or something like that. My point is, if this is going to be a feud, which I hope it will be, that just keeps going and going and going, you got it. This is a good win for Sammy to pick up here, and they had the perfect story. He beat the living crap. Go ahead.
Jericho, Sammy, Mox, and Darby. That's when Jericho hits the midair Judas effect.
Oh, that was a good
puts
one.
him back in the ring. Sammy makes the cover on him to get the win.
Okay, all right. How many head-to-heads have they had? It's been at least 2. Okay, that's fine.
I'm still looking.
So I don't know. I just feel like Darby getting beat up for 15 minutes and then Sammy still losing. I don't know. Because what is it? But it was a fun match. There's all sorts of cool stuff going on. There was like Jericho was killing me on commentary
when he did the
suicida, the Lope suicida.
Yeah.
He said, "Do you know what that means?" And Tony was like, "No, what?" He was like, "I don't know, but good God, it looks like that guy just tried to commit suicide on that Lope." Oh, that was funny. What does suicida mean? I don't know, but it looks like he tried to commit suicide. That was really good. That was really funny.
Yeah, he was really good tonight.
And yeah, Darby was doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and Sammy was great and everything, and it was awesome. But Darby got the win here with that cool. He calls it the Last Supper. Is that what he calls it?
Yeah, it actually made sense because second half of the match he was working over Sammy's leg, so I'd assume it'd make it harder to kick out of that particular pinning predicament if you got a bum wheel, you know.
You think they should have? I was thinking about this in the shower. Do you think they should have aired? I haven't seen it yet, but would this have been a good time to air that Jackson versus Jackson being the elite thing?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the Young Bucks on the show, where the Young Bucks are arguably the most popular act. And that was like a big time match, and they played like little portions of it, but it would have been kind of cool just to get out of the routine of things.
I know.
To play that match in its entirety. And I don't know if there are issues with that, if there are legalities with that. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Young Bucks, I would think, own that. It's on their YouTube channel.
You would think they'd be able to do that, but maybe TNT. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway.
Here, as I can tell, they've only had that one-on-one match at Revolution.
Really?
I think.
All right, well, that's fine. Is any? I'll start doing my own research. You want to talk about this match a little bit, or
sure? Which one?
Darby Allin.
The Darby one. No, you put it. I mean, the Prince's story was Darby comes to enough. So at one point, Sammy sets Darby up on the top rope. Darby knocks him off, and he's kind of dangling there like he's going to take one of those Del Rio top rope double stomps. Instead, though, Darby pulls off Sammy's boot, starts biting his toes, and puts him in the reverse ankle lock, as Jericho puts it. And throughout the match, he's working over the ankle. He hits some of his usual stuff. At one point, Sammy's busted open when Sammy hits a springboard cutter. We go to commercial, come back. Darby sends Sammy into the barricade, goes for a Lope suicida. Sammy moves, so Darby just crashes right into the guardrail. Sammy hits the 630. Darby grabs the bottom rope during the pin, hits stunner, goes for the springboard. Sammy catches him, goes for his finish, like the Feast Your Eyes. So when he lands, Sammy delivers a knee. Darby catches it right into the Last Supper to get the win.
Yeah, no, it looks like you're right, man. Just one-on-one. There was only that one match. They look at that. They've built this feud to such a pitch. I didn't even know they only had one-on-one match.
I mean, they've been in the ring together several times.
Quite a few times, yeah.
But only one singles match until tonight. Before tonight. Next, we had a Matt Hardy promo from the compound. He says that he invited the whole of the ass Jericho to the compound for the deletion. And last week, Jericho didn't say a word.
Yeah.
So the spirit within him, Damascus, could tell that Jericho was scared. The only Inner Circle member to mention his name was Sammy, and then he invites Sammy to the compound if he wants to fight in Jericho's stead, and says Sammy will be deleted. And then broken Matt Hardy suggests that he speaks to the unkillable, normal Matt Hardy. So he transforms. Or like, was it Wayne's World? And so he's like, hey, I understand why Jericho hasn't showed up. Why he showed up too. Mad that he showed up. Sorry, I added a E in here, made it a long A instead of short A, and made her mad. If he takes out the Elite, they're the pillars of AEW, then Jericho can create chaos, and then he could take control But the thing is, AEW isn't about Matt Hardy. It isn't about Chris Jericho. It's about the future of professional wrestling. And Matt Hardy plans to defend that idea. Said he's going to kick Sammy's ass, the Inner Circle's ass, and then finally Chris Jericho's ass.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool. It was effective enough. You know, he was broken guy, and then he was normal guy. So that was
normal
cool.
Matt Hardy.
Normal.
They should just call him that. And he got broken, then just normal.
He's just normal Matt Hardy.
Normal Matt Hardy.
After that, we had Alan Angels versus Kenny Omega. Again, the best part of this by far was I started writing some of this shit down, man. Jericho's commentary is good. Anytime he calls, the best thing about this was Jericho was actively rooting for Kenny during this match while running him down and calling him things like, pumpkin-headed dipshit. That was the funniest damn thing.
He marks out when Dasha announces that Kenny's from Winnipeg. Of course, it's also Chris Jericho's hometown,
Yeah. I like this, dude. He said, because Alan Angel said something like his nickname is ya boy.
Oh, yeah.
And Jericho said, "Oh, I know what that is. Ya boy. It's a drink. I invented it. It's straight vodka on ice."
Yeah. Someone asked him for the recipe on Twitter. He said, Grey Goose, ice cubes, enjoy, I think is what he said.
I like this. He said, at one point, he said, he was down there in OVW. He was in developmental. He doesn't say WWE developmental. He just says he was in developmental. Of course, they didn't use him right, so now he's here.
And now look at him. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He's been in Georgia before. He's in Deep South.
Yeah. And then this was great. Somebody just mentioned this in chat also. He said, this is great for Kenny. When he beats a Tijuana taxi driver like Alan Eagles, it helps when he fights me and I beat him. And then
he's talking about enhancement matches, yeah.
Yeah, and then he made a Laura Ingalls Little House on the Prairie reference and a Michael Landon
reference as well.
The Highway to Heaven, and then Tony Schiavone said something like, why don't you talk about was it Bonanza? Which one was Michael Landon on? Bonanza?
Yeah.
Or Gunsmoke? Was it Gunsmoke or Bonanza?
You're asking the wrong guy, man.
Come on, man. I thought you were up on the over the air classics TV.
Not Westerns, no.
All right.
Anyways, Kenny won. It took him a while. And, hats off to Kenny. He probably wants to make this guy look good. Give him some experience, some ring time. He eventually wins after a deadlift powerbomb and a V-trigger. Doesn't even have to bust out a one-winged angel to get the victory.
Nope.
Next, we got a really cool video package from Scorpio Sky.
Oh, this was great.
A little biographical thing. Talks about in like 2008, 2009, he had a back injury, which the doctor said, well, you either can have surgery or you can do pain management. Either way, you're done wrestling.
Yeah.
And it seemed like basically Scorpio Sky just like, all right, I'm done wrestling. And then, time went by, his back stopped hurting. And so the first thing he thought, well, I'm going to give this wrestling thing a try. And he talks about visiting his mother's grave and, talking to her. And I think he said talking to her, talking to God, and decided to give this pro wrestling thing another shot. And lo and behold, here he is. Dude's got star written all over him.
Well, okay, let's talk about this then. This seems like it could be a reboot for a solo thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not with
well, they had a cliff ending where it said, yeah, and something another 2017 we started SCU and it said that to be continued. ...
Oh, that's right. That's a good point. Well, never mind then.
But maybe they'll just it's SCU or it's Scorpio Sky within the context of SCU, and he's like, all right, I've done that.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe next week he'll be like, to be continued. But they're super old now. And to be honest, Chris Daniels is a walking botch fest. So probably not going to associate with them anymore. I'm not sure. I should have turned in my paperwork earlier for the TNT title thing. Didn't know that was a thing.
That's on me. That's on Scorpio Sky. I'll learn from it. Do better next time.
No excuses. I'll get my paperwork in.
But even if this is a thing where there's I guess we should look at this, the promising development that this was the Scorpio Sky video package.
Yeah.
And part of Scorpio Sky's story is SCU, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
And not an SCU video package, which would include Scorpio Sky. So the focus is squarely on him, and I think that's going to continue in part 2.
He'd be a killer addition to the men's roster. Just a killer addition.
Yeah, he's
I
super
think
good,
and
man.
People love this guy. And this kind of stuff, like, he's so natural.
Yeah, man.
He's so natural.
He's so natural, so relatable.
Yeah.
He seems very grounded and down to earth.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes literally, like he was just sitting there next to a dumpster and like a chain link fence in sorrow, apparently. That was a bit dramatic, but it's okay. It was effective.
Next, we had the replay of Cody listening to the voicemail from his brother saying if he lost to Kip Sabian, he was going to retire.
Yes. Yeah. This son of a bitch.
Tried to add some drama into a match that we kind of knew who the winner was going to be.
I liked it, though. I mean, they're trying. They try to do that.
They did try.
They do try.
Sammy versus Darby still should be the main event. We had a brief little recap of being the Elite 200. They showed a little bit of the Matt versus Nick match. Some of those spots look pretty funny. The Destroyer off the diving board was pretty great.
Yeah, that was pretty rad. That was cool. After that, we had a much more... I mean, I know it's Jimmy Havoc, but man, he beat the living crap out of Orange Cassidy. Was there any comedy in this match? I mean, he put his hands in his pocket once.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, like...
it's not really comedy. That's just his thing.
Jimmy Havoc at one point, it was kind of funny where he was working over Cassidy's hands and then stuck one hand in his pocket, started beating on that hand in the pocket, the other hand in the pocket, started beating on that hand. That was kind of clever. Funny, no. Clever, yes.
Yeah.
But then Orange, when he made his comeback, he puts Jimmy Havoc puts Orange Cassidy on the top rope. Cassidy knocks him off, and he does that kind of falling off the top rope splash thing. Mm-hmm. That's about as close as we got to a comedy bit.
I mean, yeah, he's not going to change up his entire moveset, like he does what he does, but like in terms of moments that play to the, crowd.
Yeah.
For laughs, there was none of that. Like it just started out immediately with Jimmy Havoc beating the crap out of him, and that was it.
Yeah, Cassidy was trying to take his jacket off, and then Jimmy attacked him, and was like a control for pretty much the entirety of the match.
Yeah.
At one point, Cassidy escapes the ripcord clothesline, follows the forearm. Penelope Ford, she was sitting ringside. She gets up on the apron to interfere. Chuck tries to trip her up. Instead, she does the splits. Mm-hmm. And so Kip Sabian runs out. He's there. He does a tope out of the ring onto the best friends.
That was a great looking tope.
Yeah. And so Penelope goes to the top, goes for the Rana thing, misses that. Orange wins with the roll up. And then Jimmy Havoc and Kip start attacking him after the bell. Jimmy drops him with a DDT. So I like how Kip and Jimmy Havoc, they're friends because they're apparently sharing accommodations right now.
Yeah. No, that is good. After that, we had an MJF promo. So all week he'd been talking on Twitter about having an injury. Mm-hmm. And this is when he sort of, unloads and tells us what it is. Talks about going through terrible and depressing times. The whole world is suffering right now. MJF hasn't wrestled. His fans, what did he call his fans?
MJF. Well, it stood for Maxwell Jacob Friedman fans.
Okay, yeah. Anyways.
MJFFs?
Yeah, something like that. They're craving him in action. And he talks about he suffered an injury while gambling, a hangnail, but he kept gambling because he didn't quit. Because he didn't quit, his injury became life-threatening, but he'll return and win the title. Yeah. I don't know if this is pandemic-driven or if he actually has an injury.
I don't know. He had his arm in a sling and like his pinky wrapped up in something.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is.
But Wardlow was there, his employee.
Yeah.
And he took on Lee Johnson.
Yeah. He threw Lee Johnson all around that ring.
Yeah, he did. And then he won.
Yeah.
So
with that airplane spin. Those suplexes he was doing where he was literally throwing him across the ring. That was pretty impressive. That military press power slam combo was pretty cool too.
He's a big dude.
He is. He's massive.
You know what this episode really needs? She was only in the crowd. More Britt Baker.
Uh-huh.
I wanted another Britt Baker promo. You know what they need? An episode. Add her to commentary with Jericho and Shivani.
There you go. I was going to say like a Piper's Pit-esque show. Her own segment.
That'd be good too. But I just want her and Shivani together.
In the chair.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
The exam chair with Dr. Britt Baker.
She has like a drill. Like whenever they say something
exam room, yeah.
Whenever they say something that she's not into.
Zzz, yeah. Last Marathon Man.
The marathon. Oh man, to be on that set.
Next. Oh yeah. Why not try acting? That Olivier said to Dennis Hoffman or Dustin Hoffman. Mm-hmm. So next, Dark Order video package. So a dude, he's getting dumped on the phone, and so we see flashes of like paper clippings. He used to be a Heisman hopeful, and then he types in his application for the Dark Order, "I used to have the whole world in my hands."
Mm-hmm.
Another Bray Wyatt reference.
Yeah.
And so the dumping finishes via phone call. He submits his application. We cut to Brody Lee. He's sitting behind the desk. He's like, "I want to thank you for your time. I understand your frustration. But trust me, I've been there. If anybody understands what it's like to be you, it's me." And we cut to the over the shoulder of this new prospective recruit for the Dark Order. There's an interview going on.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he says, Brody says, "A lot of people in AEW are handed success. But Uno tells me that you are a hard worker. A lot of people around here in AEW are afraid of success. But I want to offer you success, the power of strength in numbers." And he hands him a mask. He says, "You're home now. You're one of us. You're Dark Order." And then they announced, what's his name? This was actually a new member of Dark Order.
Varner? Vance? Varner?
Yeah, Preston Vance.
Thank you.
AKA 10. And he's a large
10.
Dude.
Okay.
He's a pretty massive.
Yeah, he
dude.
had some. Apparently, he had some matches on Dark.
Mm-hmm.
He tagged with Sean Spears, and he had a match against Cody, maybe.
Yeah, he looks
like that.
They said in his interview was what 6'2", 240, something like that. He's a large dude.
Yeah.
Former
he's a
college
big
football
guy.
player.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be the guy. I don't know.
He'll be the guy that what?
I don't know. He'll be like the leader of. He'll be the leader of the numbers.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. I don't.
It's funny. It's funny. The guy that tagged with Sean Spears once is number 10 in the Dark Order, isn't it?
It's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I thought Brody was kind of bunking this, to be honest with you.
There was
He's
no
not
obvious
much of.
Vince connection in this one that I was aware of.
No, there wasn't. And therein lied the problem, kind of. I don't know. I don't want to dump on the guy. He was the most convincing as just himself in that one interview he did for the Worlds Collide thing.
Yeah.
And I know that's not asking much because it's just himself. But, like, I wanted a bit more Vince. Like, it doesn't even have to be a Vince story. But, like, when he was yelling at people, but he was just acting a role that he's not, you know? At least when he's trying to be Vince, he's grabbing onto something.
I kind of felt like what bugged me about this more than anything was the lighting was weird. So when he leaned forward, there was like a weird
Oh, I noticed that too.
shadow across his face. And that bothered me. When
Yeah,
he
I
leaned
noticed
back,
that
it was
too.
fine. But when he leaned forward, it was like you only saw one eye.
Yeah.
And
I was
is there
happy
a
though.
Purpose? Why they did that for a reason? I couldn't figure it out. Anyways.
Probably just did, you know. And
Fresh
they
shot.
probably have like Orange Cassidy doing the cinematography or something. It's all a big family affair, man.
Yes.
After that, but I was happy though. I did enjoy Brody Lee in this role.
Mm-hmm.
Guy who chopped the shit out of baby Justin Law's baby chest. Oh my God.
That's a pretty good line that Jericho had. He's ripping the flesh off of Justin Law's baby chest.
Oh, that got me because he was murdering that chest. It was great. And then you see last week he comes out and it was like, what, 15 minutes later or something. I mean, maybe those chops were just that gnarly. And
Yeah.
maybe it was a couple hours later, but his chest was fucked up last week.
Hamburger.
And you know why? Because of this match this week.
Yeah. Yeah, Brody beat the hell out of him. That super
He
kick looked
really
like it connected
did.
hard. That Uranagi looked like it was all Brody. And that this discus lariat was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin Law can sell pretty damn good.
Yeah, he was selling snapmares from Sean Spears like nothing else last week.
Yeah,
he was getting
yeah.
air on a snapmare.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Brody wins. He goes down ringside. Marco Stunt's sitting there. Brody Lee stares at him. They have a match next week.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I wonder who's going to have a more dominant performance. Lance Archer versus Marco Stunt or Brody Lee.
I get the feeling that Brody Lee is going into this match trying to recruit Marco.
Could be.
So I don't think he's going to try to murder him.
Well, unless Marco says no.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be. Next, we had a Best Friends and Orange Cassidy interview in the gym area. And so Chuck says, I have an issue with Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford, Jimmy Havoc. And Trent says, yeah, I want to fight Penelope Ford, but legally I can't. Well, I'll fight her boyfriend instead.
Well, this is the one time, it always cracks me up when Like there are some people who do the conversational thing where they ask a question only to answer themselves. Am I really hot in this room? Of course I am. He did this. He did the same thing, but he said, do I want to fight Penelope Ford? And that's the setup to you think he's going to say, no, of course not. But he says, of course I do. Can I legally? No. Oh, he's got the purest deadpan face.
I know. And he says, yeah, this is me pissed off. And there's no expression on his face.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Chuck screams in the background, yeah, when Trent's quiet, you're going to die.
Yeah. And then he says he was calling out Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, and then also it's going to be you versus me and Jimmy Havoc for some reason. For some reason. And Jimmy Havoc for some reason. They saunter off.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Do I want to fight Penelope Ford? Of course I do.
Can I legally? No.
Oh, that was funny.
Next, Bubbly Bunch episode 2. This is like a TikTok spoof.
Yeah, Flim Flam.
The Flim Flam, that's what they called it, and they're just dancing. And Sammy is like, I don't really want to do it. Jericho says, well, the winner gets this bottle of hand sanitizer. They do the dance. It's like this stuff. And
this was the stupidest thing. I feel like somebody in our Patreon, I think it was somebody, Sarah Queen in our Patreon, said she could watch these all day. So I'm not going to crap on these because I know people like them. I do not. I think they're like,
my thing.
They're like, okay, dude, honestly, it's just because you and I have literally been through entire film festivals where it's this, and it just screams 10 by 10 from the local festival that our friend puts on. It's so bad, but they look like they're having fun. So
exactly. Cool. So Sammy does like a flip in his home gym and stuff, and that pisses Jericho off. And he says, because he was showing off, he says, essentially, stop showing off. Congratulations. And he throws the hand sanitizer into his phone as if he's trying to award Sammy the hand sanitizer for winning through his mobile device.
Yeah.
That was like the thing that kind of saved it.
Yeah, that was
a funny bit. Next, we had a Kip Sabian and Dustin video package hyping up this match. Then we had match. My stream dropped out, so I missed the finish of this completely. Last thing I saw was Penelope Ford was caught up in the apron of the ring, and Brandy helped her out so they could fight.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Dustin ended up winning with Sabian got distracted, I think, by probably Penelope Ford or something. And then, because I know Brandy speared Penelope Ford at one point, and then it wasn't long after that Dustin hit a Code Red or Destroyer or whatever it was.
Oh, Destroyer.
Yeah. And that got him the win.
Cool.
So yeah, they're doing what they can over there at AEW.
Yeah. No, I know. It's they before this all happened, they had set a pretty high bar for themselves. In the last couple of weeks, they're doing the best they can, but you could tell they're working, with less than a full roster.
So do we know, is the idea... Okay, so is Blood and Guts going to happen at Double or Nothing?
Don't know.
Because there's no number one contender right now.
No, Mox is supposed to talk next week.
Okay. So the final for the TNT titles at Double or Nothing.
Yes. You'd assume some sort of tag. Well, here's the thing, too. Are they going to say... You'd assume they'd have to have kind of all hands on deck for Double or Nothing. So, I mean, are they going to have the Revival
nothing
do something, or what they call it, FTR now? Do something, step something with the Young Bucks? I don't know. They can have FTR debut at Double or Nothing.
What was the math on that? They were able to. May whatever.
They had no
compete clause.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, let's answer some questions.
Sounds good.
Where are you going to go? Patreon or
I'm on Patreon.
Twitch? Okay,
Patreon,
I'll go to Twitch.
Patreon.
And whatchamacallit, Discord.
I'll do a dog authority figure. Who would have a higher ceiling at WWE, Sammy Guevara or Darby Allin? Or how would they screw their characters up?
Who's bigger physically?
Sammy.
Then probably Sammy would do better. I don't know. See, the thing is that they wouldn't. It's Sam. I think it's Sammy Guevara. I think there any way you split it, it's Sammy Guevara. Because the thing is, he wouldn't deviate too much from what he is now. And I feel like they would completely fuck up Darby Allin. I think they would not. I think that like the stuff that he wants to do, they wouldn't let him do. The coffin drop wouldn't be a thing that he'd be allowed to do.
Probably not. Are you on Discord or on Twitch?
I'm on Twitch right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Glamorous Jar says, who wins the ratings war this week, in your opinion?
Well, NXT's won the last two, and I see no reason for that to change.
NXT seems to have the buzz right now, so I would say that. Favorite customer says, would Dexter Loomis's character be better off in AEW? I don't know. I've only seen he's only really done one thing.
Pretty fun stuff with him in NXT right now. Thomas Dunnigan, much like the Boneyard match and Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania, to not make every match be featured within an empty arena. Do you think we'll get the Elite Deletion match at Double or Nothing between Hardy and Jericho, or possibly all the Inner Circle? It seems like Sammy's first in line for a match against Matt Hardy, not Jericho. I am assuming they'll save the Elite Deletion proper for Hardy and Jericho. I guess it depends if they're going to do Blood and Guts at Double or Nothing, or if they're going to wait until they can do that in front of a crowd. That seems to be what they really want, to have that match in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
So
that'd be smart to do Elite Deletion at Double or Nothing, though. Because nothing else is being set up. Like, we haven't seen Hangman, we haven't seen the Bucks. Nothing else is being set up right now.
I know.
Die Hard Homer, power rank the top 5 talents you'd like to see pushed in AEW once they go live again.
I mean, Darby's already gotten somewhat of a push, but pushing the moon. Darby's great.
Yeah. Go back to Hangman. Hangman. He's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mean Green, for your sub.
Local Doug, the year is 2030. What are some matches at Double or Nothing? So Double or Nothing 10 years from now. AEW, 3-time AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page, taking on whom?
Taking on 2-time AEW champion Darby Allin. They become the new Cena Orton.
There you go.
Glamorous Jar again. When the Crockett Cup begins again, what team from AEW do you want to see in it? Exclude the Revival or the Revolt, or I think it's called FTR now.
FTR, I think is what it's called. Yeah.
FTR, since they already said they want to do it.
Private Party.
Oh, that's good.
James Fletcher with AEW using legends so well, like Jake the Snake. What legends would you add, and who would they manage? So you can imagine if WWE had those legends, they'd have them wrestling. Local Doug says Raven with Jungle Boy. I like Raven. I don't know if Jungle Boy is the right fit, but Raven involved would be pretty cool.
Could you imagine Raven with Jimmy Havoc?
That'd be something else. Imagine Raven with Darby Allin.
That'd be cool. That'd be really neat.
Darby. Raven talks like Kermit the Frog.
What about Darby?
What about me? What about Darby?
Let's see here. Let's see if Discord has any questions.
All right, Johann von Wolfhausen. So, who's going to crap on WWE the most when you get on Jericho? When they get on Jericho's podcast? Hope Dash Wilder tells his point of view of Bret Hart tackle at the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
When he clocked that guy.
Man, it's hard to do better. There's already a huge, the standard has been set with the Moxley one, and I think Brody Lee came close. Matt Hardy was by far the most diplomatic about it, even though he did spill quite a lot of beans. It's funny, even being matter of fact about stories in WWE, it's usually pretty shockingly like, oh my God, how are they able to run 7 hours of, what was my math on that right? 3 + 2 + 7 hours of live TV every week. How are they even able to do it the way things are run? They were running after Matt Hardy the day of that match that he was supposed to have with Orton. Are you going to resign? Are you going to resign? No, you're not going to resign.
That's crazy. Dang MQ has a question here on Twitch. So what are they going to do with the women's division at Double or Nothing? Britt versus Sheeta. Also, they need an interim women's championship. They got to have Nyla Rose involved somehow.
Yeah. I would think, isn't that just going to be where, because Sheeta's #1 contender right now, right? Just have Sheeta versus Nyla Rose, have Nyla Rose win.
Thomas Dunnigan, should AEW trademark AEW Galaxy? I believe Jericho coined that phrase tonight. Continue to use the term.
So like my natural inclination is don't get too clever with the jokey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they actually can toe the line between, you know, talking about legacy and history and being serious, and then the jokey stuff that sometimes, a lot of the times, can be a wink and a nudge towards WWE.
Yeah. Local Doug Kocal, if Jericho became a full-time color commentator, how long would it take for him to be considered for the greatest ever?
I'm already considering him there.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He is so good. He is so good. Sarah Queen, I mentioned her before, said she could watch these Inner Circle videos all day. What do you think they should do next after obviously conquering TikTok dances?
Bring back
My
Vine.
wife is huge into TikTok these days. She'll send me so many links to stuff. I'll hear her laughing in the next room.
Yeah. Maybe the Inner Circle will bring back Vine. Remember Vine?
Yeah, I remember Vine. I liked Vine. I liked Vine better than TikTok. Vines are actually pretty funny. Like, a lot of those are actually pretty damn funny.
Yeah, some people got pretty good just exploiting the technology to do some clever stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dang MQ says Nyla Rose is in Washington, D.C., and I don't think she could travel for Double or Nothing.
Interesting. Well, then you got to do something with Britt at the very least. I'm assuming Britt versus Sheeta because, like, they're still doing a thing. Trey Willier, who do you think is next to face Mox for the title? Le Champion. Did Jericho say he has a rematch clause?
Yeah. So
Probably not going to go there yet.
Cody's ranked number 1 in the rankings, if that means anything. But obviously, he can't challenge for the title ever again. And I think Jericho's 2 because he's owed a rematch clause. I think Kenny's 4. Who is 3? Archer was 5.
Where's Hangman?
I don't think he's in the top 5 for men's for the world.
Because everybody you've mentioned either can't wrestle for it, is wrestling for a different title, has already wrestled Jericho a million times.
Let's see the updated rankings here. This will load. Come on, you. Load. It's not loading for me.
Hugo Long Heavy says the top 5 is Jericho, Cody, Hager, Kenny, and Darby.
All right.
You could do Darby.
Yeah.
You could do Darby versus Jericho. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I was thinking that, I mean, now is a bit soon, but down the line, they should do Brody Lee versus Mox. That'd be good.
Oh, I was thinking versus Jericho. I'm sorry. I don't know where my head is. Yeah, Darby versus Mox would be good, too. They've done that before. It was great.
Mm-hmm. It's a good match. Good match.
Yeah, down the line, they should totally do Brody.
Hell yeah.
I wonder if they're going to keep the Dark Order out of the title scene and just
for
be
a
more
while,
of
I
a
think so.
more of a presence.
Next, Thayer Thabata.
Thayer Tabata. Thayer Tabata. See, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Power rank other moves you want to see Taz meticulously break down, and why is Joey Ryan's penis plex number 1? That Taz breaking down the V trigger and Snapdragon was pretty great.
Yeah, that was cool. That was neat.
Penis plex would be high up there. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I would love for him to break down the PWG butthole segment.
Oh, that'd be good.
All the thumbs in the butthole. And then look, there's Tommy N. He put his finger in the butthole. Wonder whatever happened to that guy. Hey, there's Pete Dunne. Wonder whatever happened to that guy. He put his finger in the butthole.
Another one. I forgot it.
Did you see there was a new Quizlemania champion today?
I did.
No spoilers. This is hot stuff. This is huge stuff. So I'm not going to be spoiling stuff, but man, titans of trivia over there, man.
I know. Truly. I can't wait for you to get your invite. Wait, what does that mean? Are you going to pass?
No, it's out of my hands.
Oh, all right.
It's out of my hands. I don't know that I'm going to get an invite. They might have been like, oh, this one guy from Going in Raw came on, and he was like awful, and the other guys, and he's supposed to be the smart one.
Yeah, man, I had a decent comeback. At least I didn't finish last.
That's true.
It's nerve-wracking when you first start.
I'm sure it is. Anyway, is that it?
Yeah, that's all the questions I see.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow or today, depending on what time you're watching this, with our NXT review. We're going to shoot it live here on Twitch at probably noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. And so, yeah, check that out. And then right after, it'll be on the YouTubes and in the audio realm. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Till next time. Oh, yeah, and that's right. Stevie Bradley here in chat mentioned also Thursday nights right here on our Twitch. I watch Unsolved Mysteries as a watch party. If you have Amazon Prime, around 9 p.m., 9:30 or so, I watch Unsolved Mysteries right here. It's a co-stream type thing. We get like 50 people out here right now, but we'd love to grow that audience. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.